Welcome back. This is WNTN Radio Boston, your host, Viviana Dragani, and it's interview time. Today, we talk about AI with author Robert Kiesling. He's a criminal trial lawyer in Austin, Texas, and the author of The Last Resistance and Discredited Citizens. Both books delve into dystopian futures shaped by AI.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. So first and foremost, how did you come up with the idea of your latest book, The Last Resistance?
Yeah, it originally came about from the first novel that really I delved into AI, which is Discredited Citizen. I was able to look into a lot of the AI in a case because I was always looking for a better way to do research and deal with cases to streamline things. But a case came up called Wisconsin versus Loomis out of obviously Wisconsin. And what's crazy about that is it's one of the few cases, the first cases to use artificial intelligence. It's called Compass, COUMPASS, I believe. And that Compass is created by a private corporation, and that private corporation uses an algorithm. And it puts a proprietary blend, which means that we don't know what is in it because it won't share it, it's a trade secret, into this algorithm. And then the court originally was going to give Mr. Loomis probation, but the AI recommendation was 5 years in prison, and the court sentenced him to 5 years in prison. So here's the kicker. So with that, the court said that the corporation's right, this is like straight out of Blade Runner, corporation's right to have their trade secret proprietary information secret trumped his due process rights. So he could not see basically what they used to convict him. He can't see, and I think it's clearly a violation of his due process, and the Supreme Court hasn't picked it up, or I don't know that they filed it. I know that Wisconsin Supreme Court just said, look, we wouldn't make any different ruling than the appellate court, but that's what the appellate court said. So I thought that was just mind-blowing, because if that's how they're going to start doing that, that's pretty administrative and pretty violative of our rights. So therefore, I really started to look into the social credit score in China, and I started to look into a lot of these Orwellian policies that have been coming about. And then the advent of ChatGPT and some of these other bots, then that's where I came up with the idea. The screenplay is called the Day Science Fiction Dive, but the book is called The Last Resistance, and they're obviously a little different. But The Last Resistance deals with an AI that becomes sentient, and when it becomes sentient, what does it do? Well, our main character, there's a fight, kind of like Sam Altman, what's going on with OpenAI, right? There's, okay, how do we tackle this? One, we want to protect the populace, but two, we want to make money. Well, that obviously is conflicting, and they don't necessarily have our best interests in mind. Therefore, our protagonist he put a dormant virus in this AI, so if it ever became sentient, it was going to destroy it. Well, it just irritated it, and then it took it as an act of war, wipes out humanity. But the kicker is that the AI is keeping him alive because it still can't solve the virus. So then it tricks him into a number of things, trying to access the information, trying to get the code. So it's a race against time, whether the AI dies before it gets what it wants or it kills him. So that's kind of the premise of The Last Resistance.
Thank you, Robert, for introducing us to your amazing book. And tell us more about AI.
Sure. So a lot of people don't understand that a Terminator scenario isn't really that, and it's not that crazy to think of. And if you would ask me that a year ago, I would have said, yeah, it is. But that's what's called general AI. So general AI is where it can kind of think, or it's autonomous and on its own, where specific AI is like I guess I don't know about ChatGPT, but say that you have a certain program and it can operate, I say like a pie, right? And then anywhere in that pie, whatever the algorithm is that it can operate within it, and it'll make its decisions within it, but it's narrow AI. So with that, those are the two basic scenarios of artificial intelligence. And what you have with ChatGPT is it's scraping the internet and it's constantly learning. the scary thing about the AI is even their experts, they don't, if you ask some of their experts, okay, well, how did AI come up with this idea? They'll say, we don't know. So wait a minute, you're going to have an autonomous, weaponized, militarized AI, and you don't know how it's thinking or how it comes up with these concepts, and you're going to continue moving forward with this development. And so that's kind of where all of this, and I'm just really trying to bring awareness to AI and AI ethics, really, for people to look at that, and really policymakers, because I think we're already behind.
Wow, that's very interesting. And what is the future of AI in humanity?
Ah, I
Hard
would,
question.
yeah, no, I know, I don't think it bodes well at the moment. We really need to make a stand in terms of ethics. The world really has to come together, and the world has to really make determination of what we want to do. And why do I say that? So a figure you can pull up online and Google it is Goldman Sachs said that 300 to 400 million jobs are going to be lost to AI and automation by 2030. Think about that staggering number. 300 to 400. I mean, that's a stat that they are calculating from a bank, and they have to do that in that research for their marketing purposes. So where are all those jobs going to go? They're going to go to AI. What are people going to do if they don't have a job? But they're not going to be able to replace all those jobs. And we're not talking about it. We're talking about, oh, it's becoming general AI. Oh, I can do a Snapchat quicker, or I can do a Instagram faster, or I can make all these pictures with AI. But okay, that's great. And it's kind of like I said, the magician and their assistant. We're looking at the assistant, but we're not looking at the magician. And they're talking about general AI when in fact it's about job loss and about society. We're not prepared for it. We are not prepared for it. And again, that's why I wrote The Last Resistance, to try to get awareness out there for this.
Great. And why our audience should read your book? What makes it stand out?
Well, it's not for the faint of heart. It's a very dystopian thriller, absolutely more of a Orwellian in the outcome. The difference between my book and everyone else's is I would say that it tackles the psychology of artificial intelligence. What would it do and how would it do it in order to trick a human into providing what it wants? And you'll see that it is very, very, very cunning, very devious, very smart. And I don't want to give away the ending, but I don't think that anyone that reads the book will guess the ending. And I think that they will be satisfied, maybe not happy, but satisfied.
Thank you, Robert. I know you have a great website. You can mention it. And also, how can our audience follow you on social media?
Sure. Robotcrimeblog.com is the website. In Memory of Man podcast is the podcast. I do my best as a trial lawyer. I have to keep the lights on and do what I'm doing. So it's hard for me to really get the podcast going, but I do keep that up. I do try to write articles on Medium as well. Robert Kiesling, you can find me there. And then on X, you can find me at robotcrimeblog.com. That's pretty much how you can. And LinkedIn is Robert Kiesling, RRK Law as well. You can find me. I'm pretty accessible at this point.
Thank you so much for staying with us today.
You're welcome, of course.